Okay, we have our fabulous clerk here.
Fire is going to seem more palatable.
Happy to. Okay, let's call a special meeting of the county board to order. Tuesday, March 14th, 2017. The time is 9:21. Roll call, please.
Hartke,
Here.
Heiser. Jay, King. McGuire. Michaels. Mitchell. Patterson. Petrie.
Present.
Rector. Rosales. Summers. Tinsley.
Present.
Alex. Anderson. Clemens. Coert. Cruz. Esri.
Present.
Goss. Harper.
Here.
Weibel.
Present, we have a quorum. Clerk, read the notice of the meeting, please.
Notice is hereby given that a special meeting of the County Board, Champaign County, Illinois, will convene on March 14th, 2017 at 9:21 p.m. in the Loud Shields Meeting Room, Brookings Administrative Center, 1776 East Washington Street in Urbana, Illinois, in said county for the purpose of the approval of a loan to the Champaign County Nursing Home to protect public safety and safety protect public property and to limit county liability, budget amendments or transfers, contracts and agreements, and any other business pending before the board, which said meeting shall continue in session from day to day until the completion of said business.
Thank you. I seek approval of the agenda. Moved by Mr. Rosales, second by Mr. Hartke. Discussion, seeing none, all in favor? All opposed, motion carries. Public participation. I have Mr. Scott Tapley. He's been waiting patiently. I want to point out Mr. Tapley was a former county board member somewhere in the early 2000s. I don't remember the exact dates. He was in on some of the early problems of the nursing home. Mr. Tapley, go ahead.
All right.
You're on.
Things have gotten fancy since I served on the board with Pius and Lorraine 100 years ago. As Pius mentioned, I'm Scott Tapley. I was on the Champaign County Board in 2002 when the nursing home referendums were put on the ballot and approved by the voters. And I won't go into all the details, but basically all of the arguments against both of the referendums have been proven correct over the last 15 years. But my goal here tonight is just to dispel a couple of rumors, not rumors, but things that have been perpetuated about the current referendums. The first myth is that, and quite frankly, you guys did a good job of dispelling this one in your earlier meeting tonight. The first myth is that the nursing home would be just fine if the state caught up on all of its payments and the property tax subsidy is going to fix all the nursing home's problems. The second myth is that there are seniors living on Medicaid at the home who would be put at risk if the home were sold because they have nowhere else to go. In regard to the subsidy, there is no subsidy big enough to take care of all of the nursing home's problems, okay? That's what I said in 2002, and that's one thing that just hasn't changed in 15 years. The reason is that government, the Champaign County Board just can't run a business. It's just a fact, okay? And it's been proven since 2002, it was proven before 2002, and just look at what's happened since the first two referendums passed. Less than 2 years after the property tax subsidy started coming in, the nursing home was running deficits again, okay? In 2001, I've got a spreadsheet here from Mr. Welch. 2001, the nursing home's fund balance averaged $1.7 million, okay? In 2005, after 2 years of collecting subsidies, the fund balance had dropped to $340,000, okay? So the subsidy that was supposed to take care of things evaporated almost immediately. And the reason why is because government just spends every dime that comes in. That's what it does, okay? And governments don't save ahead, they don't plan ahead. And after the fund balance crashed like that, in 2005, that's when the bailout started, just like the one that y'all are voting on tonight. Since 2002, $37 million in property taxes have been collected by Champaign County's nursing home, but it still needed $2.8 million in bailouts from the county. It's piled up $3 million in unpaid bills. I heard earlier tonight it's $3.5 million and still owes the county general fund another $900,000. Now, the memo that Mr. Snyder gave y'all said earlier tonight that it's going to take several years of this new subsidy coming in to just start paying down the current debts before you can even can start addressing the $8 to $10 million in capital needs that have been piling up because the county board, when I was still on it, I didn't vote for it, but the county board at that time voted to just ignore the depreciation expense. Okay, but what didn't go away was the real needs that happen when buildings deteriorate. So, you know, in addition to all those other problems that started in 2002 that didn't have anything to do with Medicare and Medicaid, as you read, if you read your board packets tonight, the cost per day at the nursing home in December was $218 a day. You guys were charging $203 a day. So for the private pay residents, you were subsidizing them $15 a day per person. It was $72,000 of a deficit. I don't know how many months that went on that way all year long, but it's hundreds of thousands of dollars. And so it's not just Medicare and Medicaid. It's not good management. The second myth that I wanted to talk about is the more insidious one. There's a group that's supporting the tax hike. On their website, it says that the nursing home takes in 3 times as many Medicaid patients as a private for-profit nursing home in the other homes in the county. And it describes the Medicaid population as folks in need with no other place to go. And there's people going around the county saying that seniors might get kicked out of our nursing home if the cell referendum passes. And I got to tell you, it is a disgraceful, disgusting disservice to go around scaring old people and their families to get them to vote the way you want in a referendum. And it's deceitful too, because nobody buys a nursing home to close it down. Nobody's going to get kicked out of the nursing home. Mr. Snyder's memo that was discussed earlier talks about the fact that 55% Medicaid is approximately the state average for nursing homes for their census. Ours is 67%. That's not 3 times. It's a little bit more. But the memo also pointed out that if a professional management team came in and filled up the Champaign County nursing home, like we all wish it would, and the county's had 15 years to do it, but it hasn't been able to do it, the number of Medicaid beds served would actually go up by 20. So selling the Champaign County nursing home to a capable firm that can run it would increase the number of Medicaid patients served. Now, I don't know why the nursing home hasn't been able to fill up. I think there's a long list of reasons. Some were talked about earlier tonight. There's negative press. There's uncertainty that's been being dredged up by people talking about the nursing home closing. Some of it's the 1 rating from Medicare. Yep, I will wrap it up. I've got about 2 more sentences. I appreciate earlier the point was made that in order to turn it into a not-for-profit partnership with a consortium of local providers that the cell referendum needs to pass. But basically the bottom line is that our seniors deserve much better than what they've been getting. More property taxes would basically make us just pay more for the same bad management we've been getting from the county board. And our seniors need professional management, not political games. And I think the only way to make that happen is to vote no on the property tax and yes to sell the nursing home. And so thanks for the time.
Is there any other public participation? See none. Let's go on to item 6. Mr. Alex, would you move this?
Yes,
please?
thank you, Mr. Weibel. The Finance Committee moves the adoption of resolution number 9892, authorizing a short-term loan from the general fund of the Champaign County Nursing Home Fund to protect public health and safety, protect public property, and to limit county liability. And I'll note that this is requires a roll call vote with 15 votes for passage.
Is there a second? Second by Ms. Cowart. Discussion. Roll call vote.
Hartke,
Yes.
Heiser? Yes. McGuire? Yes. Patterson?
Yes.
Petrie?
Yes.
Rector? No. Rosales?
Yes.
Summers? Yes. Tinsley? Yes. Alex? Yes. Anderson? Yes. Clemens? Yes. Coert. Cruz. Esri.
Yes.
Goss.
No.
Harper.
Yes.
Weibel.
Yes, motion carries. I have 16-2. Is there any other business? Seeing none, we're adjourned. Good night.